If you look at life insurance product, it hasn't really changed for decades.
Right.
So the question is why?
Exactly.
And I was just talking to the audience that, it's hard to get customer feedback. Life insurance customer discovery is super challenging. Go on the street, ask people about life insurance.
Right.
Try that and you'll get interesting reaction. Or if you do what they call a pay group survey, it's pretty biased. So how do we solve that problem, right? Otherwise the product's not going to change.
Welcome to 5 Minutes, your quick dive into the wide-ranging world of insurance, technology, and leadership. I'm Miguel Edwards, and I'll be your guide as we explore these topics that are transforming not just the insurance industry, but the business world at large. Along with sharing observations I've made over the span of my career in insurance, technology, and operations, I'll be chatting with some of the brightest minds in business and leadership. Whether you're a seasoned executive or a rising star, an industry expert, or just curious about how technology is revolutionizing insurance, this is your perfect spot for your weekly dose of insights. This is 5 Minutes.
Dennis Lee, thanks so much for joining me here. Another episode here of 5 Minutes, InsurTech Hartford Symposium 2025. What are you looking to get out of the event this year?
Yeah, reconnecting with old friends, learn about new innovations, and look for partnership opportunities.
Awesome, fantastic, and this is definitely the place to do it. So, you've had Dennis an incredible career. There's a question I ask everybody who has been in the industry for a while: how did you get your start in insurance? It's usually an interesting story, so I wanted to throw it out there. See how you go.
Very few people actually plan to go to insurance.
Right.
We all stumble across it. My background, I'm actually an actuary.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just actually kind of a good blend of math, business, and I was risk averse at that time, so that's a good career for me, and loving it since then. Actuarial path took me to many different opportunities. Now I'm actually working on distribution.
Okay.
Right, so really had my career span across a life insurance value chain. So very interesting and very rewarding so far.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And so remind me, just in terms of from a career perspective, you've been mostly on the E&S side, or?
Oh, I'm actually on the life insurance side. So I'm the rare breed in this conference.
You're the rare breed.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I did meet one other guy from New York Life today. But
okay.
So there's you got a couple of folks in there. So you're mostly on the life insurance side, and talk to me a little bit about some of the challenges. I spent 6 years as a life CIO.
Okay.
It seems like we've been dealing with the same challenges for a really long time.
Of course.
Are you seeing anything on the horizon that's going to change that and propel our industry forward?
Yeah. Actually, I was just speaking about it during the panel. So I think, if you look at life insurance product, it hasn't really changed for decades.
Right.
So the question is why?
Exactly.
And I was just talking to the audience that, it's hard to get customer feedback. Life insurance customer discovery is super challenging. Go on the street, ask people about life insurance.
Right.
Try that and you'll get interesting reaction. Or if you do what they call a pay group survey, it's pretty biased. So how do we solve that problem, right? Otherwise the product's not going to change. So, we see that now there's alternative channels, new distribution channel emerges.
Okay.
A lot of digital solution want to partner with life insurance. Great place to get real customer data for carriers to take it back to actually build product for a specific channel, right? Okay. And also when you think about the product development cycle for carriers, that got to change too. That's 1 to 2 years, very robust. I was an actuary, I did pricing, It's very, very rigid. So I think customer feedback loop need to change. Maybe that can be solved by distribution, but then on the carrier's end, they have to rethink how to develop product in a more agile way. And I think that's the next big opportunity.
One of the things that I think about a lot is, you think about all of the financial instruments that are out there that impact life insurance. And, I guess typically, we think about a lot of the fixed income investing that a life insurance company can do. As you're thinking about the dislocation in the bond market that recently occurred, as you're thinking about the advent of additional financial instruments, is that going to drive potential innovation in our industry, do you think?
I think it drives different type of opportunity. In the past few years, because of the macroeconomic environment, we see explosion of annuities, right?
Yeah.
But now I think the market is very unpredictable, let's say. So what would that lead to? I don't know. I think there will be new life insurance product for sure. Customer definitely needs some safe haven, on behalf of Amplify Life, right? We focus more on cash value insurance, index universal life, which is a great solution for a segment of customers.
Right.
So I think, now we get into highly personalized kind of era in terms of product, right?
Yeah.
We got to really think about from the customer point of view. What do they need? What segment customer you need, and kind of reverse engineer and build the products. And depending on where the macroeconomic is at that time, there will be opportunities.
Yeah, got it. Pivoting back to distribution, I've always heard that life insurance in particular is one of those products that it's sold, it's not bought, yes. Right? And we've been predicting the death of the IA or the independent agent for a while, and we're going to go direct to consumer. Are you seeing any of that changing? Whether it's because of a demographic shift, whether it's the advent of technology, are you seeing distribution going more closer to the consumer?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think if you look at how life insurance distribution landscape have changing, consolidation is happening at a very rapid pace, which brings technology to enable advisor, right? So I definitely don't think advisor going to go away.
Okay.
Right? I think their model will be more efficient, which benefit customer. But also I believe digital channel like what we do is going to, increase market share as well. We're not competing with each other in my view. Okay. We're addressing very different customer segments. Right. We're accommodating very different engagement preference, right? We targeting middle market, which I call it awkward middle, right? Because the top level producer doesn't want to address it.
Right.
And they are savvy enough not to fall prey from these sort of MLL based, like the multi-level marketing type of agents. So they're savvy enough to do their own diligence. They want to drive their own journey. For them, I think what we offer, digital or hybrid channel, is a great solution.
Digital, and would you say hyper channel? Hybrid channel. So is that is where we've got technology that is kind of creating an introduction, and then there's a shift to the IA?
Yeah, depending on, we have captive agents in-house, right? Okay. But we don't have a standardized journey. So everyone see a little bit different. Obviously, it's not, there is some cutoff point that we, introduce advisor, but essentially we want to make sure we involve human at the highest leverage point, right? After the policy is approved, right? A lot of time people are confused why the pricing is this way, not the other. Highest leverage point, build trust, right? And it also doesn't require the advisor to stay on the phone for like an hour. Right. So it frees up their time, invest the resource in the right place, and help us scale.
Yeah. Got it. When I was in a life space, the holy grail was NIGO and solving the NIGO problem. Is that still in play?
With the carriers, I would say yes.
Okay.
For us, we're trying to build our in-house model to make sure we, address the problem even early on, right? Offer the right product based on their risk profile.
Right.
So, I think the biggest issue for life insurance is the rejection, right? Like they get denied of their application. People get really unhappy. So, kind of minimizing that outcome, I think, is what we strive to do to create a better customer experience.
Got it. How are you seeing AI working its way into the underwriting process now from a life perspective?
Yeah, I think AI. I think it's such a right now has a very broad use case, so we still haven't really figured out where is a first point of entry, let's put it that way.
Okay.
We do see more and more customer coming to digital solution from AI search.
Okay.
Right? So from the top of the funnel. So that's interesting. So I think one of the questions industry is asking is how do we optimize that? Okay. Is the SEO playbook the right way to address it? I don't know. I don't think anyone has the answer, but it's definitely becoming a more important topic to pay attention to.
Yeah, no, 100%. Do you see any shifts or any improvements in the collaboration around APSs and medical records and prescriptions? Do we see any improvement there? Are we satisfied with where we are? Is there room for improvement?
Oh, for sure, yes. And, for us, we very, the number one priority is a customer experience, right? So we work with, underwriting platform that can deliver that. But knowing that, the manual underwriting is still going to be there. If we want to work on the placement ratio, right? The accelerated underwriting model is great to address a good risk, but we still have to find a balance there. But, certainly area for improvement for sure. No one want to wait for 3 weeks.
Exactly.
But then, once we get to the turnaround time for underwriting to like a day or two, then I think, the marginal benefit there will be low, right? So finding that sweet spot, I think, is a lot of, player in the ecosystem and strive to do.
Yeah, no, I got that. That makes a ton of sense. Talk to me a little bit about where you see perhaps advancements in product design and what that might look like.
Yeah, again, I think product will be very much anchored to channel.
Okay.
Every channel has a very specific customer need, right?
Right.
For example, if it's a channel that's supporting the client of RIA, that might focusing more on like the rollover features. So they need a life insurance product to accommodate that, right? A cash value product to accommodate that. Otherwise, alternative, it's use existing product, right, to fit into that need, which is what's it called, square peg in the round hole. I always say the opposite, but yeah, square peg in the round hole. So that will just create a lot of friction, higher surrender and all that downstream impact.
Yeah. When you think about data, Dennis, I mean, I know that, for example, in the life carriers that I've worked in, the data, the accessibility of data, understanding the actual data model has always been one of the biggest barriers to modernization, to moving forward. How do you get the data out of the mainframe? You guys sell an IUL product, long tail on that, you've got to make sure that you've the changing values every day, all of that stuff.
Yep.
You need to. How do we solve that problem?
Yeah. Actually, my experience with big carriers really speak to that. I spent a couple of years working on data transformation, bringing an external team, 50 people team working on mainframe system.
Yep.
I think it's very hard to solve it in-house.
Yep.
So I think it calls for a stronger collaboration across these different players in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Carrier might have to lean into the new entrants a little bit more like us, right? We can bring lean kind of product development methodology.
Right.
Of course, understanding different carriers have different risk appetites. So, we just got to roll with the punches. But I think the carriers who first get comfortable with this approach probably will find their footing to these new alternative channels.
Got it. Yeah. As the ecosystem is developing, there's more leverage points there. I get that. So I think about the life insurance customer of the future.
Yeah.
I think about, for example, I got a 25-year-old.
Okay.
And I'm imagining trying to sell him life insurance.
Yeah.
He lives on TikTok, and I'm kind of trying to give him some old school advice.
Yep.
And how are we going to reach that group, that demographic? Is there a new approach? Is there something we've got to be doing a little bit differently?
Yeah, I think the answer is just omnichannel. There's no one way to reach them. The decision-making process for a consumer in terms of purchasing financial product is not linear anymore, right? In the past, it's more linear. They have a need. They look for a solution, Google it, talk to people, and most likely buy it or not buy it, right?
Right.
But now we have all these different distractions. Maybe they are, triggered because they saw something on TikTok,
right,
and they got distracted moments later, and then they come back five different times, right? So it's very hard to pinpoint where the customer is at in terms of their purchase cycle. Mm-hmm. So I think that's up to the distributor to solve. We have a lot of data at our disposal,
right?
So we can, if you ask a customer, they don't know neither. It's not like they don't tell you.
Exactly.
They don't know neither, but you have to figure out based on their behavior. I'm an actor, I'm a data guy, so I firmly believe data tells the truth. They're honest. So the onus is on us to figure out where they are at and deliver a solution that makes sense for a customer in that part of the purchase journey.
I love that. That makes a ton of sense, Dennis. What questions have I not asked that you wanted to cover here?
No, you asked a lot of good questions.
Yeah.
So, like, you've been in the life space for a long time. So
not a long time, but enough to experience some of the interesting challenges.
I love the questions. I guess maybe one more is I do believe. And you definitely can frame this question a better way. I do believe, the traditional boundary between lines of business, between, personal lines, commercial line, E&S line, life line, it's getting a little blurry. We do have conversation with commercial, players, distributors in terms of like collaboration opportunity. I do think that kind of partnership will add a lot of value because at the end of the day, it's the same customer.
Sure.
Right? They're different needs, but the same customer, regardless if it's a small, medium business owner or just a consumer buying auto.
Right.
As long as you get the adjacency right, I think kind of figure out the partnership dynamic. I think that's huge opportunities to really just again expand the market share.
I'm going to pontificate a little bit here because you're saying something that I get on a soapbox on quite a bit. And as the insurance industry kind of writ large, we can't do that until we stop thinking about the insurance policy and we start thinking about the customer. We are wholly a policy-centric industry. We know more about our policies than we know about our customers. And so how do we cross-sell the way you're suggesting, which I think is the need? How do we have a conversation instead of talking about this commercial package policy that I'm talking to this small business owner about? How about I talk to the small business owner about their needs? And then, oh my gosh, this guy's got 25 lives I can go after. Right? That's like, how do we solve that problem and think about more customer centricity?
It's a big problem.
That's my soapbox moment, Dennis. Sorry.
I think we're on to billion-dollar questions. Yeah, I think it starts with data, right? Collecting the right data, empowering the producer if it's a producer-driven model. Because a lot of producers on, let's just say, commercial side, they have no idea about life and they don't feel comfortable talking about life. They feel it's a high-risk type of model. Kind of have these digital solutions to help them getting comfortable with it. I think that's the number one thing. And also, just from the embedded partnerships, right? Different kind of embedded partnership. The best way to sell insurance for life insurance, for example, is people don't even realize they bought a life insurance because the value, the secondary value proposition is so appealing. Like for permanent life insurance product, there's a cash value component, right? People resonate to it, they buy this, and they protect their life as well, right? So this, I think, just minimizing that decision-making friction is important. But yeah, a lot needs to be done there. But starting with data, from a better human-centric experience, and I think that's a way to go.
I want to ask you one last question because you said embedded, and I would not have talked about embedded in the context of life. Okay. Where's that opportunity? Like, give me an example of a journey that I would be on where I could purchase an embedded life product.
Yeah. So a couple of partnership we are working on. I'm not going to name the name, but consumer-facing fintech solution, for example, for financial wellness, right? It's a great way to introduce life insurance because it's easy to demonstrate its value there, how it will protect the other asset, right? Yeah. And plus, it takes the onboarding friction out of the equation. We already have that data, so we can sort of personalize a solution right there. And also, that solved the biggest issue in life insurance, which is customer acquisition. Because so far, for a lot of digital solution, it's bidding for traffic. Yeah. It's not going to be great, right? You're bidding for the exact moment in the customer life cycle versus you should be with the customer throughout their life cycle, and then you get in at the right moment. Then with that will automatically solve the high customer acquisition cost issue. Yeah, you're exactly right with that. You're reminding me of my time with one. I used to work for a very, very big, large national carrier. I'll leave their name out. And we came up with a concept that we couldn't like make work, which is if I'm doing a homeowner quote. I know what the value of the home is, right? Yep. Because they've stated it. There's a good chance that they've got a mortgage on the property because that's why they're getting homeowners insurance. Why would I not quote this individual who I should know a lot about for a life policy for the value of their mortgage, right? That type of thing. And then sell it embedded at the point of sale, so to speak, not really embedded, but at the point of sale with the home. And we couldn't get the traction. And the agency was the resistance. We couldn't get the traction because the agency was the resistance. The agent said, I'm not going to complicate this HO3 sale with a life sale. I'm not going to do it. Right. So I feel like the comment that you made around embedding AI in that process so that we can get distribution more comfortable, that's where there's legs. Yep. I think you got this $1 million idea now I'm thinking about. I'm going to give up this gig here. Yeah. And let's partner together, man. That's awesome. Well, last question for you, Dennis. What are you looking to get out of the conference this year, InsurTech Hartford Symposium 2025? What's going to be different this year? What are you looking for? Yeah, I was here last year. It was great. And this year, so far it's been phenomenal just connecting with industry peers, exchanging ideas, having conversation like this, and really finding out the path forward for insurance industry. So very excited. And more to come. We're only, not even halfway in. Halfway there, right? I love it. Awesome. Dennis, thank you so much for your time, man. Appreciate you. Nice meeting you.
Thank you for joining this episode of 5 Minutes. If you've enjoyed our discussion, we'd love for you to share it with anyone else you think might find it interesting. Also, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening on and hit that bell to stay on top of the game with our practical 5-minute episodes. We look forward to seeing you again next week.